The difference between a student today versus a student 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, is the prevalence of technology. Now, whether it's the dog wagging the tail or the reverse, I'm not entirely sure. But I do know that the sheer volume of technology available to students, it's not outside of them. It is them. So when we do our lessons using chalk, notes, overheads, we are now outside of them. The technology, iPods, cell phones, the internet, YouTube, Facebook as examples of internet applications, movies, that is their world. So to them, they don't find it so much that it's a motivating thing as it is a defining thing. It's what they do on a daily basis.
Years ago, basically, if you wanted more information, the teacher was your only source. Besides an encyclopedia, that was it. Now I'm just one of a myriad of sources that they can go to. And I guess it's a difference in perception of what the teacher is. The teacher becomes then more of a guider in the knowledge process. You know, I'll guide your learning more than provide you with everything you need to know.
I guess for me, the big highlight for using computers and technology in the classroom is that the world is at your fingertips. Whether it's a video presentation from a YouTube, whether it's animations that will help show different processes that are very hard to describe. You know, if you're looking at the seasons, for example, explaining that versus animations. I mean, it's endless what you can show. The websites, the pictures to support everything in the curriculum, it's all there. It's all there, and it's becoming more and more a part of my teaching career and more a part of my, my classroom.
When I started teaching, the opportunities for a child to go different places in a body of content were limited. They were limited to what the text had, perhaps the experience or the background of the teacher, and perhaps the nature of their information access in their community. These days, the world is much more open. The classroom has to be much more open. The instruction is not simply lecture one book only, because the world is impacting on those children. No teacher can ignore that. What that brings with it, along with other technologies like software, web, other things that might be course specific, is that you can give children opportunities to find their own way.
The web has provided a sort of an unlimited learning. It's like having an encyclopedia at your fingertips, but the whole world at your fingertips as far as that's exciting about technology. That certainly wasn't there 20 years ago. 20 years ago, the one encyclopedia that you had in your library, the Britannica Encyclopedia, was what you had. And you might, if you were lucky, you had the World Book. And that was all that you could, that was all you had access to.
I think there's a lot more emphasis on students finding the knowledge. So you pose a question, but instead of you providing the answer, you ask them, okay, now go find the answer. And I think technology allows them to do that.
The more you look at the textbooks, the more limiting they are. They're one person's perspective, and they're one as far as diagrams, one diagram, etc. Whereas when you look at the internet, it's open, it's wide open, and there's so much that they can look at. To me, that just makes a lot better learning environment.
With virtual labs, I find it gives well, particularly the very well constructed ones, they allow for the manipulation of variables. I think it gives students a risk-free environment in which they can answer their what-if questions. What if I change this variable? What will be the effect? What if I alter this particular variable? What will be the effect? And I don't think that a structured lab within a 1 hour, 1.5 hour time period in a school environment necessarily offers that to the students, that they can explore. It's not that risk-free environment, whether we're using chemicals and there's inherent dangers in the mixing of the chemicals, or in operating physics apparatus in which there could be danger associated to damaging the equipment, etc.
When we did Night, Elie Wiesel's Night, we were able to access the internet and see an interview with him talking about the novel. We were able to access websites that tour Auschwitz. So the internet provides a tremendous opening of the world that we didn't have access to before, so that we can extend what we do into different genres and areas. Like before we would read the novel, we might look at black and white pictures when I started 20 years ago of the death camps, and that would be it. And now the way we approach the novel, or the way we approach things, is much more different.
The change in the technology for mathematics teachers is that now there's software out there in a handheld device that will allow them to create a truly mathematical environment in the palm of their hands. The difference is it's not just something that can turn lights on for certain values and show you a picture. This one, or the current technology, is going to allow investigating a relationship geometrically, grabbing values from it dynamically, like on the fly, in a spreadsheet, watching a scatter plot of one quantity against another unfold in front of your eyes, documented with notes pages as you go. So it's going to fundamentally change how teachers create learning experiences for students, because the ability to do the things I just mentioned hasn't existed before. What I'm finding as a practicing teacher is I'm reconceptualizing how my content works, even for my own mind, because now I can have them explore relationships with me visually and individually that I could never do before.
It's my generation, I'm close to the end, and I'm not terribly computer friendly. So the students are kind of leading the way there. So I will introduce something, and then students will say, "Oh, that's on YouTube, miss," and we'll all go to YouTube. "I'll bring it in for you," or "That was there. I can download that from the internet for you, miss, and bring that in." And so there's a kind of reverse education happening here, where it's kind of a shared learning, if you like, where I bring up the material and they find the technology to bring it in and enhance it. And that quite often they're doing it. They're bringing it in for me, they're loading it up for me, and they're playing it for me, which kind of allows them to participate in learning more, I think, than me being the sole deliverer of the learning, which is kind of fun.